Bob. Well, welcome to Thursday. It's Vlog Thursday. Look where I am. I am outside. Hopefully our signal will come through and broadcast. You know, where I am, there's not much signal coverage here, so I can't go into town and walk around like I normally would because I don't have coverage. But when we get back home, you know, I'll take you out to more places that'll be more fun. But right now, I just thought you'd like to kind of hang out in the backyard with me and have a little tea. I'm sitting here. I made a good cuppa, and I'm just relaxing. Ah, so good. I love my tea. How are you guys today? Who we got here with us? I can't see the chat. Hold on a second. I got to put on my other glasses. I can't see anything. Look at that sky behind me today. Is that amazing? Or what, huh? What do you guys think? We got anybody here with us today? Let's see who's all here. Oh, Masters Omniverse is here. Thank you. Good to see you. Queen Cola Bobs is here. Yay. Well, some more people will be coming in. We got just a few, but it's just nice to hang out and, you know, sip some tea and relax, you know. I've always said that, you know, all of us in this modern day life, we rush around like crazy, don't we? We never slow down. And, you know, I'm at the age now where I'm starting to realize that you can burn yourself out if you don't slow down. And nobody wants to burn themselves out. So I'm going to just sip my tea. I'm sitting on the back porch. You guys can see it's a beautiful day here. Got beautiful skies. Look at that beautiful blue sky. Now tell me that's not lovely, huh? Look at that. Psychic Bob in paradise or what, huh? Yay. Hey, there's Glittery Rainbow joined us. Yay, Simba's here. Isn't that wonderful? Oh my gosh. Let's see. There's Simba. Oh, Damien Devine's here all the way from Northern Ireland. Kate Pigeon is here. Yay. Oh my gosh. Queen Colabob says, oh, do share your PG tips with me, my lord. I'll try not to tip it over my head. Queen Colabob's told me, I'm going to tell you a story. Queen Colabob's said one day she was like drinking a cup of tea and she decided to stretch and she forgot she had tea in her and she poured tea all over herself. I love that story. That's something Psychic Bob would do. Trust me. Ain't nobody faulting you, Queen Colabob's, because I do the same thing. I'm telling you. I am telling you. Well, this is so nice to be with you guys. And I don't have a big agenda today. I just thought we'd hang out and, you know, just spend some quiet time together. You know, so many of you came out to last night's show. We had a late show, so if you didn't see, you'll have to check it out. But in last night's show, we talked about the magic of owls and how to work with it. If you didn't see that, check it out. It's in the queue right before this one, okay? Hey, Glittery Rainbow, thank you. She says, hope everyone has a wonderful day. Thank you. Oh my gosh, this is so great. We got wonderful people. You guys are so wonderful to come and join us today. And as I said, I don't have a super big agenda. Does my picture look okay? Are you guys hearing me and seeing me? That's what I want to know. Am I broadcasting? Let me know, all right? Tell me some comments. Glittery Rainbow says, oh, I hope it wasn't too hot, the tea, but yes, what a great story. Queen Colabobs, did you get burnt when you do that, or was the tea cooled down by then? You know? Oh my gosh. Hi, Nigella for me. Lori's here. Hi, Bob. Looking shiny today. Looks like Bob's shiny. Look at this beautiful sky. I had to come out and just be under the sky. You know, as a Wiccan, I draw power from the earth. And so I've been walking out in the yard and looking at the Sun Lord. Sun Lord's up there. I've got him out camera so we don't have too much glare. But he looks wonderful. I can't move the camera or my setup will collapse. So maybe I can show you a little bit. Our Sun Lord's back. There he is. There's our Sun Lord. Hopefully you guys can see him. Anyways, I'm not putting him on camera so to blind everybody. But I am just relaxing today. You know, for those of you who just tuned in, welcome. If you weren't here yesterday, you missed a great show. We talked about the magic of owls, working with the owl spirit. So make sure to go see that. Hi, Joe Mad Dog. Good to see you. Welcome. There's Brandon Brandon Colwell's here. Hey, Brandon, good to see you. Nice to get your day started with you. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you're here. Well, I invite all of you, get a cup of tea or whatever your favorite beverage is. Coffee, tea, milk, juice, I don't know. I drink tea because I'm like half British, right? So, you know, it's true I'm American, but I'm kind of British too, which is a whole nother story, which I'll tell you another time. But I love to drink tea, and I drink it British style with milk in it. But that's just me. You don't have to do that. But it's so nice to be here with you guys and just sip some tea and sit under the sky and talk about the world, you know. You know, whenever I come to my mom's, it's so tranquil here. Well, you can see it's just beautiful. It's different than where I live. You know, where I live, it's the city. And out here, it's kind of country, and so it's different vibe, you know. Yes, Queen Colossus, tea bags are good for the eyes. Do you guys know about that? If you have bags under your eyes are swelling, you can take tea bags after they cool down, not when they're hot. After you make a cup of tea, just sit your tea bags on a plate and then put them on your eyes, and it'll reduce wrinkles and swelling. Thank you, Queen Colobobs. By the way, a lot of you have been writing, how do I get into private reading? How do I get in your classes? Queen Colobobs just put my information in the chat. So see that, it says private reading, psychic development classes. Go to psychicbob.com and it's got all the other stuff. So read the chat and you can find out how to contact me, you know. Paladin, hi Paladin, that's a cool name, I like that. Paladin says, hi Bob, when are you going to do more of those walks and restaurant meals? I'm going to do those when I get back home. Now that I've got my phone camera working, down here I'm in a country, a rural area, so I can't leave the house or I lose the signal. So today we're not going out anywhere because I don't have signal coverage. But at least we're outside, and that's a little bit change of pace. So just so you know, this is not green screen behind me. I really am outside. I know somebody's going to write and say, but that Bob's using green screen. He's not outside. But really I am. I promise you I am. So, Paladin, we will be doing that in the next week. So I hope you'll keep watching, you know. Oh, hi, Nigella. Yeah, I haven't got to tell you about Grizzly. That's a sad announcement. I have to talk to y'all about that today. So the little dog mom had, Grizzly. We've had to give him to a neighbor to live with. I can't keep him because of the building I live in. And my brother and sister-in-law already have 5 dogs and can't keep him. But he's literally just a few houses away. Like I could walk up to the house. So he's okay because he knows the neighbors. He loves these neighbors and always played in their yard. So we brought him there. He's been there for the last few days. He seems to be settled in okay. I'm really sad because I wanted to keep him, but we had to make some decisions. And so he's now got a new home, and he's very loved. The people, I couldn't hope for better people to have him, you know. But I'm sad. I'm grieving that because I wish the little dog was with me. And I had originally planned to take him, but then I found out about my condo regulations and where I live. It's just, it won't work for a dog like that. He won't be happy because I can't go outside all the time, and I live in a high rise, and he needs to have his yard. And so the people that take him have a big giant yard like mom's, and he has, you know, he'll have a good home. So he's not far away. He's literally just, I could walk up and see him. But I've chosen not to go up because we were all talking about it, and we thought it might traumatize him if I go back now after he's just getting settled in. So I'm going to wait a while till he's really settled in and knows it's his home, so I don't confuse him, you know. You know, so yeah. Thank you so very much. Pauline Brody says, you must be feeling strange, but nice at mom's. Again, sorry for your loss. Thank you, Pauline. You know, being here is sad because it's like, it makes it really apparent to me that she's gone. You know, when you go to your home, that, you know, it's your family home and your mom's not there, you really notice it. So it's been sad for me, but sounds strange. It's actually therapeutic. It's helping me to make peace with her passing, being here. So thank you for your kind sympathies. I appreciate that. Joe Mad Dog says, I've been struggling with depression. Joe, I understand that, you know. It's hard in this world. You know, Sylvia Brown, a famous psychic, used to say, she said, this is a dark world. She said, none of us get out of it without some struggle. So I'm really sorry for your depression, but I hope maybe being here today will just help you be lifted a little bit, you know. Drink some tea. It's got antioxidants in it. It'll probably lift your spirits a little bit. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for being here, even in your struggle, you know. Yes, Nigella, Grizzly's got a very good home, so I'm very happy about that. I do miss him, Queen Cola Bobs. Queen Cola Bob says she misses him too. Thank you, Jenna. Jenna says, I'm sorry to hear that, Bob, but I'm glad you got him a good home. Joe Mad Dog says, I'm taking a walk. Joe, you know, walking is really great for lifting depression. If I could walk today, I would go out walking in the woods with you guys. When we get home, we'll be able to do that, okay? So we're going to go out walks. I know y'all been missing it, going to restaurants. We will get all of that back in now that I've got a new setup working for me here. We'll do it live, which will be really cool. It won't be taped like it would be live, you know? Real Simple Orchard, hey, good to see you, dear. She says, has your mom come through when you channel? No, not yet. It's too soon. I'm not going to hear from her for a while, and I'm okay with that. I think she needs to get used to the spirit world, and I got to get used to recognizing she's gone. So sometimes the separation is actually healing, you know, because when she comes through, then I'll be ready for it. Joe Mad Dog says 109% agree. He agrees with what walking is good, yeah. Nigella for me says, you are so right, Bob. Going into the home when my parents are gone is very hard. My last parent, my mom, died in 2008. Oh, I'm so sorry. And I still miss her, and they're home like crazy. You understand then, you know. Hi, T. Rose Lover. Good to see you. She says, good morning, Bob. Beautiful sky day. Isn't it lovely? We got some wispy clouds going on back here, you know. Well, anyways, before I forget it, for those of you who weren't at last night's show, hi, Pauline Brady. Can you provide wisdom from the Wiccan culture, which will help us in today's world? I'm going to talk about that today a little bit. So yes, we're going to talk about that also. So hang with me. For those of you who weren't at last night's show, or maybe you're there and missed it, we're starting a new class. By the way, we've got 2 classes going, so let me break it down for you. This Saturday, I'm teaching psychic development. It's going to be on Zoom, and you register over at my website, PsychicBob.com. It's $30. It's a 2-hour class. We're working on how to open our channel to receive messages. So if you want to work on your psychic development, this is a really great week to do it because all the planets are aligned for it. Go register today, PsychicBob.com. It's $30, but it's 2 hours of training. Now, I don't know where else you're going to get 2 hours of training one-on-one with one of America's top psychics. And I keep it low. I could charge $100, $200, $300 for a class, and I'd still make the money. But I'm not about doing it for the money. I have to charge a little bit because I still have to pay the light bill and stuff, and the electric and stuff. But, you know, I'm keeping it real low. You're not going to get, anybody's going to give you 2 hours training at my level for only $30. So I hope you'll go and join my class. It's limited to 30 people, so sign up because we fill up quickly. That's our Saturday class. We're starting another class, a different class, but it won't be until the next Sunday. It's not this weekend. So next week will be on Sunday the 21st. We're starting Psychic Bob's Inner Circle. This is going to be a class where I teach on a mystical subject, and it's limited to only 10 people can sign up for this Inner Circle group. I'm keeping it small because the way the class is structured is the first hour. It's going to be on Sunday the 21st from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. And what I'm going to do is the first hour I'm teaching on an esoteric subject. Teaching on subjects I cannot talk about here on YouTube. A lot of you have been writing, asking stuff like, what about ancient prophecies? Are they playing out? What's going on with the world and the governments and the UFOs and all that? So we're going to talk about that stuff on Sunday the 21st. That's the first hour. Then the second hour is where people in that group can ask private psychic questions. If you want a little psychic help, that you get to sit and talk with me as part of that hour, one-on-one. So I'm limiting that to only 10 people. And Nicola says, 10 of the most advanced students will be chosen. So if you get a place, you're lucky. That's right. I've already got a bunch of people. I think more than 10 have already said they want to be in. So I'm going to have to get there. I'm doing first come, first serve. But if you're serious and want to invest in that, it's going to be a real help on your soul journey. So it's 50. That class for the inner circle class is $50. It's more expensive, but you get a lot more limited. Oops, hold on, my sunglasses just went. That's the thing about live. You never know what's going to happen. They're okay, thank God. They blew off the porch. I got to put them in their case. But the inner circle group, is there one space left? Cola's been helping me with the registrations. All right, Damien, I think I already got you on the list, so I think you're already in. But if you want to get in the inner circle, send me an email today and tell me, because it's probably going to fill up by today. We already got a lot of people on it. But so, as again, now if you don't get in on the 21st, we're going to do the class twice a month. So our next one will be on the 5th of December. So if you can't get in this first one, I will give you first dibs on the next class if you've already paid. Well, actually, I'm going to have to send invoices. I don't have this on my website, and I'm having some tech issues. So what will happen is if you tell me you want to be in the class, I will send you a PayPal invoice from me for $50. And when you pay that, that will secure your spot in the class. So as I said, first come, first serve. If you say I want to be in, but you don't pay for a week, you're probably not going to get in. I'm not trying to be money grubbing, but I have to, I have to fill the class and I have to cover my bills. So, promises don't really help. You got to put forth the energy. So if you don't get into this class, don't be angry. It's only 10 people. That's why it's the inner circle. It's not for the masses. We'll have another class on the 5th of December. And then you have a chance, if you want to be in that one, you can. And if you miss it or can't get in and you've already paid and can't get in, then I'll either refund your money or I'll just put you in for the next class. Okay, we'll figure it out. But let me know how many of you are interested. It's limited, as I said, to 10 people, All right. Thank you, Damien. Yeah, we're looking for, I think I already put you in. I think you already on the list. So I just have to send out invoices still. So for people who have been interested, I will send you today, later on, an invoice. May not be till tonight because my schedule's really crazy today. But we'll get you an invoice and we'll get you on the schedule, okay? So T. Rose Lover says she's going to be in physical therapy. Well, we're going to do this class every 2 weeks, only twice a month, okay? So it's not going to be every week like psychic development. The Saturday class, the psychic development, is a different class. That will be every Saturday. This one will be every other Sunday. So I'll have more stuff. I'm going to try to update my website with all this if I can. So yeah, so that's how it's going to go. So if you can do Sunday, November 21st at 12 o'clock noon Eastern, that'll be 12 Eastern, 11 Central, 10 Mountain, 9 a.m. Pacific. For those of you in Europe, it'll be 5 p.m. London time, 6 p.m. Paris time. So I tried to find a time that works for the largest amount of time zones, and that really seems to work. Now, I know people in Australia, it kind of messes you guys up, and I'm sorry about that, but we may do different ones for Australia in the future. We'll see how this goes. But, if you want to get in on the inner circle, again, it's only 10 spots available. But if you can't do the inner circle, remember every Saturday we still have the psychic development open. That's up to 30 people. Now, we do oftentimes fill it up, but we still have spots for this Saturday. I don't think we'll fill it up this week. But we might. But you never know. So go ahead and register if you want to join the psychic development. The psychic development, the Saturday class, you can pay for at my website. Anyways, am I confusing all of you? I hope I'm not. I know it's a lot to take in. Thank you, Davey. And David says, okay, brilliant stuff. Thank you. Well, I've been sitting here this morning while I was sipping my tea, and I've been contemplating my crystal ball. I just love crystal balls. And I have to tell you a really cool story. So Nicola and I were both recently cleaning out our bookshelves, and behind a bunch of books, out fell a book This is a book I got. I bought this like 15 years ago. Crystal Ball Gazing. It's from 1998. And it's so old you can see it's even turning yellow. That's how long I had it. I think I bought this down in Georgetown at a bookstore about 15 years ago. Well, you know what's really funny is that Nicola was cleaning out her bookshelves, and she calls me, she says, "Oh my God, I found this amazing book." And I said, "Oh, isn't that interesting?" Well, I had forgotten that I even bought this, and later that same day I was cleaning out my bookshelf, and out fell this book. And I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't even remember buying this book. It's been so many years ago." Well, anyways, Queen Colabobs and I both found the exact same book, same date, same first edition on the same day. Isn't that amazing? It's a really good book, and it's working with the crystal ball. And you might think, well, gosh, how much stuff can you get out of a crystal ball? But this is great because it goes into the different types of crystal balls, different ways to meditate, different ways to use them, how to raise energy with them, different sizes of balls, how they help you, all this sort of stuff. And I just think it's a really cool book. And it's cool because the introduction says, Introduction, a new generation of seers. Isn't that great? A new generation of seers. So I recommend it highly, 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 highly. By the way, guys, is this title showing up backwards on your screen, or can you read it? It's showing on my screen backwards. Ooh, everything's blowing away here. I think a storm might be blowing in. Anyways, recommend it. Recommend it highly. But for a lot of you been writing to me, you've been feeling overwhelmed by life lately. And I'll tell you, you want to get a crystal ball for a lot of reasons. One, they're just beautiful. I mean, look, isn't that just beautiful? It's a beautiful work of art. They're handmade. All crystal balls are handmade. And it will help you psychically. It'll help you to open that psychic mind. And we'll do more videos all on the crystal ball on Wiccan Wednesday. I'm not going to go into all that now. But not only will it open you psychically and it adds beauty, it will also make you feel calm. When you sit and gaze into your crystal, it's a really calming effect. So I invite you to just sit back, tune into your crystal, and just really let it work for you. It's a wonderful magical tool. I thought I'd talk a little bit about Scott Cunningham. Now, who was it earlier? Somebody, I forget who it was, asked about, we talk about how Wicca can help our lives. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. Even though it's not Wiccan Wednesday, it's Vlog Thursday. On Vlog Thursday, we talk about every sort of thing. So I'm going to continue talking about Wicca because I just feel like it. Nicola has one exactly like mine. She said, "Can I have my crystal ball back?" Paladin says, "My crystal ball has Santa and glitter in it. You have to shake it." Oh, that's really cool. Oh, I love those snowballs. That's a lot of fun. You can use that as a crystal ball, actually. Some people find that really takes them, the glittering snow, helps them go to a trance state. So you can use that. There's no real one rule about crystal balls because, you'll read some books and they'll say a crystal ball can only be clear if it's going to be psychic. And it's not true. Any crystal ball can help you. It's got to work for you. So don't let any psychic or book tell you you can't do something. If your glitter snowball works for you, go for it, So, I also have at home a black crystal, which I'll show you. Anyways, I'm not at home now, so I don't have all my crystals, but we'll do more on the crystal ball soon. But I thought you would like to hear a little bit from this book, Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary. And Volcanic Ice says, "I love Scott's book. Scott Cunningham was one of the first authors I read upon when I first got into Wicca." Yeah, Scott Cunningham's my favorite. This was the very first book I ever read. This is like my third copy because I keep buying. I use it so much. And this is one of those books, I don't know about you, but every time I read it, I'm like, I feel like I've never read it. It's like new stuff. I'm like, gee, I didn't see that a year ago when I read this. It was the thing that turned me on to Wicca. When I started reading it, I felt like my mind opened and I was so excited. So he has about the crystal, he calls it the crystal sphere. And here it is, the crystal sphere. And there's a picture of the crystal sphere. All right, so let's listen to what he says here. And he says, quartz crystals are extremely popular today, but the quartz crystal sphere is an ancient magical tool. It is exquisitely expensive, selling for $20 to thousands of dollars. Now, I can say that's true, depending on its size. Most crystal balls on the market today are of glass, leaded glass, or even plastic. Genuine quartz crystal spheres can be determined by their high prices and inclusions or irregularities. Now, just so you know, guys, I just recently bought this crystal, I believe is quartz. When they sold it to me, they said it's lab grown quartz. So that's why it doesn't have the inclusions. But it is actual quartz, so it carries the vibration, though it's a lab grown quartz. But I just recently bought an actual natural quartz crystal, which will be here soon. And the crystal I have has all the inclusions. So we're going to do a whole video on that when it gets here. So that's what he's talking about, the quartz crystals in that one. The crystal has long been used in contemplative divination. The diviner gazes into the ball, all right? The diviner gazes into the ball until the psychic faculties blossom and images seen in the mind or projected by it to the very depths of the crystal reveal the necessary information. Now, see, the crystal ball is like that. People say, well, isn't it all in your mind? And in one level it is, but on another level, you know, we don't know if it's literally going to be in the crystal or in our mind. Sometimes when I read the crystal, it puts me in a trance state and I see stuff inside my head. It's just as valid. Sometimes I actually see stuff occurring in the ball. So really it can go either way, you know? And so there you go, okay? So that's my crystal. Hold on, let's finish hearing what Scott says about it. I'm gonna set that down before I drop it. So there's our picture of the crystal. And he says, in Wiccan ritual, the crystal is sometimes placed on the altar to represent the goddess. Its shape, spheroid, see, like a round symbol. You know, it never rains or snows until I decide to go outside and do a video, does it? Is goddess symbolic. Hold on, let me reread that. Its shape, spheroid, is goddess symbolic, as are all circles, oh, there goes my bookmark, as are all circles and rounds, and its icy cold temperature, another way to determine genuine rock crystal, is symbolic as the depths of the sea, the goddess's domain. Now let me tell you, I've held real quartz crystal, and this one's like it. It's very, very cold. But the genuine rock crystal comes out of the earth. I think it's actually even a little colder than the lab crystals. So he's right about that. So the crystal is spheroid. It's round like the goddess. Okay. So if you want a statue of the goddess on your altar, but let's say you can't find a statue or a symbol or a picture that you like, what about using the crystal? Because it can be round. It represents like the earth and the moon. It's the moon mother. Okay, so it can represent the moon, the earth, the round shape of the goddess. And so there goes my bookmark. All right, well, I'm losing everything off my table. Remember, I'll just let it go. You know, it's biodegradable. It's just paper, right? You know. And then he writes on and he says, then too, the crystal may be used to receive messages from the gods or to store energy raised in ritual. Some Wiccans scry in the crystal to call up images of the goddess or past lives. It is a magical object touched with the divine, and if you find one, guard it carefully. And then he goes on, he writes, he says, periodic exposure to moonlight or rubbing the crystal with fresh mugwort will increase its ability to spark our psychic powers. It may be the center of full moon rituals. Isn't that lovely? What do you think about that, huh? So there's a little bit about this, the crystal. And, you know, I think everybody should have a crystal ball. You don't have to be a professional psychic or even a Wiccan. But if you are a Wiccan, you really should invest in one. But isn't it just lovely? You know, I just sit and I reflect on this crystal and I just go into it. And I find it really, it's very therapeutic. Like when I feel overwhelmed by life, I just sit down with my crystal. When I have a problem and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it, I sit down with my crystal. When I want to commune with the gods and the ancient ones and the spirits, I sit down and commune with my crystal. I'm telling you, it's the all-purpose tool, and you'll really get a lot out of working with it. So I want to invite you to, to explore it and to consider it, because I think it's just a beautiful tool. It certainly helps me. Hold on, I'm going to grab some paper that's about to blow in the yard. All right, my tea napkin blew away. So, oh my goodness, let's see what we got going on in chat. Sorry, I couldn't see the chat. It went off the screen. Ghostly Girl says, yes, I'm getting one. Yay, Ghostly Girl. I hope you get a crystal and tell us about it. Maybe you can do a video on that. Yay, David Jan's here all the way from Israel. Hey, David Jan, good to see you. David Jan says, I've been thinking about buying one. Thanks, Bob. Joe Maddung says, I had one. Joe, do you still have it or you had it? It sounds like you used to have it. I recommend it. If you've lost it or broken it, get another one. You know, nowadays they're a lot more affordable. Back in the 70s and 80s, if you tried to buy a crystal ball, they were very expensive because there were very few companies in America that made them. But now that there's been an occult revival, there's a lot more companies making them and they're more affordable, So, yes. Thank you, Queen Colobos. Marijuana community says, what if they make an AI crystal? Well, I'm not buying that. I don't need it. I like the old natural way. As a Wiccan, we don't bring technology into the crystal. Crystal's perfect on itself. That's my view. Anyways, you might feel different. Nigella says, Bob, I don't know if it has something to do with your mom or her house or what, but you have a peaceful glow about you again today. It's very calming to be with you today. Thank you so much. Well, I do feel really peaceful here. And I feel like it's very therapeutic and very healing to be here. Despite the sorrow, I'm okay with it, Thank you. I'm glad you're here with me. There's Master's Omniverse. He says, I feel weak hearing about magic and want to know about magic. What do you mean, Masters? Omniverse? You feel weak? Does it make you feel drained? Maybe I'm draining you. I don't know. I hope not. You see, magic, Masters, let me help you understand this. Magic is not some foreign thing. We are inbuilt to be magical people. The witches of old knew this. This is why they were able to do magic. They understood that all of life, like if we look here out into the yard, look at all those trees back here, okay? Look at that sky. Those are emanations of the gods, and they carry life force and power. Yes, even the sky and the clouds have life force. And so try to think of this, Masters Omniverse. When you go out in nature, you can absorb that energy into yourself to replenish your own power. And then you have an excess of power that you can send back out into the universe again. There's always an exchange of energy going on. And magic is about finding power, embracing it as a natural part of ourselves, and then sharing it with others. So when we do a spell, we do a healing spell, we do a protection spell, we're not doing anything strange or abnormal. We're working with the natural energies that are given to us as people by the gods. So as I said, all the universe is in motion and all is in life force. you know? So I want you to think about that, you know? Thank you. Justin Harrison's here, and Justin says, I see magic in everything. See? So, Masters Omniverse, I think that part of your challenge why you feel drained is because in your mind you've not understood the natural connection. And this is not a fault of your own. It's not, I'm not criticizing, but it's because of our society has made magic taboo and evil. And this is why so many witches were killed back in the Inquisition, is that they, instead of understanding that the earth gives us everything we need, they said the earth is bad, gods are bad, there's only one God and he's about to punish you. So they made magic seem evil, and magic is as natural as breathing. Thank you, Laura. Laura says, oh, it's so good to see you outside. Yeah, I had to come out under this beautiful sky today. And so, Masters, if you can kind of come back to understanding that magic is a natural part of our being, then it won't be scary. It's beautiful. Like, for example, let me give you an example, Masters. This might help you a little bit. And anybody else who's struggling with this. So when we breathe, right, take a fresh air, like I'm out here, I'm breathing fresh air. Doesn't that feel good? I'm taking in power from the cosmos. It's going into my lungs, going into my blood, and giving oxygen to my life and my organs and my brain. Now I'm releasing the excess air, okay? So there's an exchange of energy that keeps me alive. Magic is like that. It's a life force. We draw it in from crystals, from trees, plants, the earth. We use it for what we need. We release it. It's a natural process. It's nothing to be afraid of. Now, that being said, it's not something you joke around with or act irreverent, because magic is part of life. It's a life force, and we would not disrespect life force. Like, you don't just go out and indiscriminately kill people and plants and animals, do you? No. You see a beautiful old tree and you say, wow, I got to be respectful. That's an ancient tree, hundreds of years old. That's because we recognize its life force. And that magic and that energy of magic is life force. Yes, Joe Mad Dog just said, he said, magic is energy. That's right. And Justin Harrison says, prana or chi are a part of ourselves. Absolutely. So, Masters Omniverse, I want you to try to understand that when we talk about magic, I think why you're afraid of it or it feels foreign to you is that you've been taught somewhere or absorbed it from our culture, that it's somehow separate from ourselves and not natural. And nothing could be further from the truth, you see? In fact, let's see if Scott Cunningham, he might have said something in this book about magic. I think he has a statement about, let's see what he wrote, you know? Laura M says, I don't even step on bugs. I'm the same way, Laura. I say, I look at all life, and especially once you study Wicca, you start to realize that we're all connected. We can't hurt anything indiscriminately, you know. You are allowed to defend yourself. And if you come upon a deadly python that's striking at you and you have to kill it to survive, that's a different thing than just going around injuring things. But all of life defends itself. So sometimes we have to defend ourselves. All right, here's this chapter on magic. Let's see what it says. Page 21. Okay. All right, I'm going to read a little bit of this. You guys want to hear some of this? Joe Mad Dog says, harm none, the Wiccan read. Yes. Somebody's cutting grass out here. I hope you guys can hear me. So this is chapter 3, magic. It is common knowledge, even among the masses, that witches practice magic. They may have misguided ideas concerning the type of magic performed, but the witch is firmly linked in the popular thought with the magical arts. Wicca is, as we have seen, a religion that embraces magic as one of its basic concepts. This isn't unusual. In fact, it's often difficult to discern where religion ends and magic begins in any faith. Still, magic plays a special role in Wicca. It allows us to improve our lives and return energy to our ravaged planet. Wiccans also develop special relationships with the goddess and God through magic. This doesn't mean that every spell is a prayer, nor are invocations differently worded spells. Through working with the powers that are the God and the goddess, through working with the powers that the God and the goddess embody, we grow close to them. Calling upon their names and visualizing their presence during spells and rites creates a bond between deity and human. Thus, in Wicca, magic is a religious practice. I've defined magic a number of times in my books. Surprisingly, this is a difficult task. My latest, most refined definition is: magic is the projection of natural energies to produce needed effects. So I'm going to stop right there. I could go on for hours and hours, but particularly for masters who had concern about magic, I want you to hear that. I hope you've heard that today, and that's given you something to think about. So many of you here who practice Wicca understand this, but if you're new and saying, well, I don't know about that Wicca, that sounds a little crazy, don't let it overwhelm you, Don't let it overwhelm you, Thank you, Queen Colba. She just put up my information. So do remember, just take a commercial break, go register for a Saturday psychic development class over at PsychicBob.com. And if you want to get on the inner circle group for the 21st of November, send me an email. Nigella, for me, she has a good comment. She says, my Catholic upbringing did great damage to my mind about everything in life. I left it when I was 16 and realized Wicca was calling me, and it took years to undo it, and I never looked back. I agree. I'm not insulting anybody here's Catholic, but I found that traditional churches at least in the United States, for many people were damaging, myself included, And I feel that Wicca for me was very healing. It helped me to reconnect to my true self, to my God. Some of you out there may be listening today are in churches where you say, I go to church every Sunday, but I just feel like I'm going through the motions. I don't really believe it anymore. I don't really feel like it's me, but I feel like I have to do it because my family expects me to, and my society and my neighborhood. They all go to the same church. Don't force yourself to go to a church and try to practice a faith if it doesn't speak to you. People say, well, where do I go if I leave my church? There's no covens around. I don't, I can't do another religion. I don't have any other options. I live in a Baptist town. There's one Baptist church, and the other church is another Baptist. I have no options. What you want to do on a Sunday, if you feel like that and you just can't deal with it, be like him. Go walk in nature. Just get away. Go out among the trees. Find some forest or woodland or fields or hills and dales or swamps, well, don't go in swamps, you might drown, but you can walk safely. Find a place, maybe a riverside, a creek bed, an ancient oak tree, and spend your Sunday morning sitting under that oak tree, looking at the sky, talking to the sky, watching the birds. You'll start to realize when you do this that, yes, Queen Kolobob said it's very healing to do that. Yes, it'll, one, be very healing, but two, you'll discover that there's an innate power that runs the cosmos, I think that Laura M. says, I left the Catholic Church at 16, Nigella, for me, oops, hold on, I just lost it, says, she's talking to volcanic ice, and she says, I understand volcanic ice. It really messed with my emotions and views of life in general. Wicca saved me. And that's how I feel about it, too. Wicca saved me. Damien from Northern Ireland says, Ireland used to practice paganism. It is like Wicca. Yes, Wicca as it exists today is based on Celtic paganism to a large degree. So yes, Damien, that's wonderful. I wish I lived in Ireland. You guys still have standing stones throughout the country. So what I'm trying to say is that, if you going to a church makes you feel choked and stifled, don't go back. One of my tests of is a religion good is how do you feel when you leave? Okay, I know that in the Catholic Church, many times I'd start leaving Mass on a Sunday, come outside and feel worse than when I went in. I'd be in a depression the rest of the day. Why? Because the church beat into me. I was evil, I was sinful, I was going to hell. If I just didn't donate enough money to the church, I was not going to be saved. I mean, it filled us with all of this guilt and messages. And I got to a point, and I'm not knocking on anybody who loves the Catholic Church, because there are some really great Catholic churches too. So this is not an attack on Catholicism. I'm just saying in my experience, I left feeling worse. And I said, this can't be right. And then on top being a psychic, some Catholic priests were cool with me being a psychic and say, hey, that's great. That's a gift of the spirit, which they were right. But some priests would say, oh, you got to quit that. That's occultic. It's demonic. You got to go back to the church. You need to go to confession. And I said, why is it sinful and evil? My natural self. Right. Nigella says, yes, Bob, you said it. I always felt I wasn't good enough. And that's the thing. They'll make you feel as if you're just not worthy of God. No matter how much you do, you're always one slip away from going to hell. They used to say if you confessed all your sins, you'd be forgiven, but the next time you committed a mortal sin, you'd be on your way back to hell. Well, I just think that's too much pressure. I'll tell you from my own experience with God, God is loving and supportive and doesn't condemn anybody. This is why I joined the Spiritualist Church as well. Spiritualist Church said, the doorway to reformation is never closed against any soul, here or hereafter. Meaning that if you die and you're still not perfect and you haven't got it right, you will be given a chance to look at that and understand it. Now, to me, that makes much more sense. A compassionate God would always give us a choice, wouldn't he? Is God going to throw us in a flaming pit forever? Even if, I'll just be honest, I do believe there are hellish realms, but I've also learned that they're only temporary. They're until you awaken to what you need to know. Some people do need hell. I know that sounds terrible to say, but for some people, that's the only way they awaken or learn. But most people don't need hell. Do you need to be in a flaming pit to wake up? I should hope not. The very fact that you're here today at Spirit Channel hanging out means that you're already trying to be on the right path. So we're all trying. We got to give each other a lot of breath and a lot of patience and a lot of love, So Joe Mad Dog says that is causing the control issue within the New World Order. A lot of churches, Joe, have signed on to be part of the control grid, and they engage in illegal activities such as stalking, and that's the truth. I don't go to churches, and if you're a targeted person, I'd stay away from churches as well, because some of the best good Christian folk do the worst things. Anyways, I'm not picking on Christians, because there are a lot of good Christians too, So, Damien Devine says, when I was young, I always wanted to be a witch for Halloween, and friends couldn't understand. Damien, I was the same way. I wanted to be a witch too. And you know what I think that is? Everybody's a witch, has been a witch before. They say once a witch, always a witch, and I believe that we've all lived past lives. A lot of us have been witches before. It feels at home for us. And that, I guess, is one of the experiences I had when I came to Wicca. I felt at home. And I think that sense of belonging, that sense of home, and that sense of nourishment, for me, really helped me, So, anyways, don't let churches make you feel bad. If you go to your church on Sunday and you come out saying, God, I'm depressed, but next week you go back, you're repeating a cycle. It won't heal you. I'm not saying you have to join Wicca, but I want you to find your connection to the divine. Wiccans, we don't believe in converting people. I'm not going to sit here and say everybody should be Wiccan. It's not a path for everybody. Some people will be better being a Seventh-day Adventist or a, Lutheran or, a Buddhist. I don't care what religion you are, but find one that speaks to you. Wicca happens to speak to me, and that's why I talk about it. It's near and dear to my heart, you know. This is why I wear my sacred pentacle. It's a sign. That's my sacred symbol. A lot of Christians wear crosses. Wiccans can wear crosses, by the way. If you didn't see it last week, I did a video on the cross. Go see it if you haven't seen it. I have to drink some water. My throat's getting dry. But I just wanted to spend some time here with you guys today, and I hope this is giving you some insights, It's so good to be here with all of you, and, did anybody have any questions about Wicca? By the way, tomorrow, just so you're fair, I'm not doing psychic readings today, but we're going to do those tomorrow on Friday. Nicola, what time is it? 7 o'clock we said we're doing that? I think it's 7 p.m. Yeah, 7 p.m. Friday night live stream. Be back here at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain, 4 p.m. Pacific. For those of you in Europe, it'll be midnight London time, 1 a.m. Paris time. We're going to do live stream psychic messages. So if you didn't get a message on Sunday or on Tuesday this week, come out Friday and see if you can get a message again, okay? I'd love to have all of you come out and be part of that, Volcanic Ice says, try the spiritualist churches if your church isn't working out for you. It's a very loving atmosphere, those. Yes, I'm a big believer in spiritualist churches. A church that also is very healing and helpful. Sandra, hi Sandra. Sandra says, I think I'm a witch, but as Native American, we can't say witch. I'm confused. Sandra, both traditions are actually very similar. Wicca and Native American are both shamanic religions. Native American is North American shamanism, and Wicca is European shamanism. But they come from the same root of the earth worship and the connection to the power and the ancient ones. So you can practice Wicca, I believe. Now, I might be speaking out of turn, and I still say be a Native American. The Wiccan faith doesn't mind if you have other faiths. You can be, like I'm a Wiccan, but I'm also a spiritualist. I literally belong to a spiritualist church through the NSU, National Spiritualist Union, but I also practice Wicca. So really you can be two religions. And some people don't like the term witch because it sounds scary. So you can use the term Wicca or Wiccan. You can say I'm a Wiccan, which is a form of witch, but not all witches are Wiccans. So there is a difference. Wicca's prime tenet is harm none. So we don't believe in black magic or curses. We don't do any of that. So Wicca is not evil. Thank you, Cola, for putting up the times for tomorrow's show. Joe Mad Dog says, I'm still chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Yes, that's a Buddhist chant from the Nichiren Shoshu school. Or Nichiren Shu, both of them do it. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Wonderful chant. Very powerful. Don't chant a mantra, though, unless you understand it. You want to be reverent, Luckily, I can tell Joe knows what that is. Nigella, for me, says, my sister is a hardcore Catholic, and I recently had to take a break from her. It'll last for a while. She kept saying the most hurtful things to me, and I couldn't take it anymore. Religious and cruel. Nigella, that's the part that gets me, is that instead of being loving, like if a Christian wants to impress me, I want to hear them talk about how Jesus is amazing in their life. Because I do believe in Jesus. One of the things you should tell your sister is that just because you're not Catholic doesn't mean you don't believe in God. Because Wicca believes in God. We believe in God the Father. We believe in the triple aspect of God. We believe in God the Father, God the Son, and God the Sage. Just like the Maiden, Mother, and Crone. So we have a Trinity in Wicca as well. But Nigella, what I'm saying is, when family members, especially or loved ones, friends, get very fanatic about their religion, especially if they're Catholic or Christian, they can be very hurtful. They'll sit and condemn you all day long. Why do you have that crystal ball in your house? You need to smash that, they'll say. Why do you wear a pinnacle? That's demonic. Take that off. They'll even tell you can't. Like I know people who used to tell me I couldn't wear a pentacle in their presence because it was so evil. And I said, before you condemn me, I said, define the pentacle. Give me what's full meaning. Give me a lesson. You know, not one of them could do it. They just said, oh, it's the devil's sign. I said, no, it's not. It's not the devil's sign. And you want to tell your Christian friends and family, if they say that, the Christian church at one time used the pentacle to represent the wounds of Christ. It represents, this point is the left palm, that point's the right palm. This is the foot, each foot there was a nail, and the upper point represents the crown of thorns. So it represented the wounds of Christ on the cross, you know. So I'm sorry you're going through that, Nigella, but listen, have good cheer, embrace your Wicca. Remember this, your religion is your truth, and nobody can take that from you. So don't feel bad about it. Don't let anybody make you doubt it or hate yourself or feel bad, you know. Tina Kumar says, love and light to you. I just can't find any spiritualist churches in Minnesota. How do I get involved? You know, Tina, if you can't find a spiritualist church, look for a metaphysical church. Metaphysical churches oftentimes do spiritualist practices as well, and they have spirit circles in them. So see if you can find a metaphysical church. You know, if you can't find that and there's nothing you can join, on YouTube there are some spiritualist churches that meet online now. Out of the British National Union, some of the SNU, which I belong to, actually has some churches meet online on YouTube on Sunday, and you can do a live service with them. And you know, it's not the same then that you're there in the congregation, but it's something nice. You can at least hear the messages and be part of it. So that's another option, you know. This is beautiful. Thank you for all the comments. Yes, I see so. You're welcome, Nigel. I'm so glad that that helped you, you know. Well, listen, guys, I've got appointments this afternoon, so I'm going to have to get off of here. But I just want to come and spend some time with you, sip my tea, sip my water, sit under this beautiful sky and honor the Sky Father and the Sun Lord and the goddess of the green. The green man is with us. All the gods are with us in nature, you know. You're welcome, Tina Kumar. I'm glad that helps you. I hope that will lead you in a good direction. Yeah, Volcanic Ice says SNU online. Volcanic Ice, are you a member of the SNU? I just became a member last year, and I love it. I'm a SNU member. They used to not let it be open to Americans, but they changed it. Now Americans can be members. I left the NSAC, the American branch is called the National Spiritualist Association of Churches. And I'm not knocking on them, anybody's member of that. I just had to leave personally because of politics. You don't have to leave it. It's still a great organization. But I tell you my personal belief, and I'm not knocking on it, I think that the SNU is much more dynamic and doing a lot more work for spiritualism. So that's why I joined it. I can get more accomplished and there's more connections, you know. This is wonderful. Justin Harrison says, I emailed you through your website for the Inner Circle. Thank you for the stream, Lord Ision. Thank you, Justin. I'll check the emails. I'll be sending out some more. I sent out some last night to people who responded. But if you send it later than last night or this morning, I'll get to you later today. Thank you so much. Well, guys, listen, I'm going to wrap it up. Keep it here at Spirit Channel. Be here tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern U.S. time for live stream messages, Friday messages. What are we going to call the Friday show? I don't want to call it Messages from the Spirit World because that's Tuesday. We'll just call it Friday Messages Show. So be here for Friday Messages, and I'm looking forward to it. Psychic Bob loves all of you. Please make sure, give me thumbs up, like this, favorite it, share with your friends. Thank you for any donations. If somebody donated, I may have missed it because I was talking. Thank you for all the donations, and I hope you'll come out tomorrow and be part of our scene as well, you know. Thank you, Justin. Justin says, don't forget, like the video, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, T-Race Lover. Good to see you. Blessings and enjoy your day. Thank you. You're welcome, Laura. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Kim, for being here. Friday Fun Day. I like that. All right. Volcanic Guy says, blessed be y'all. Yay. Moon Mother says, blessed be. Thank you, Moon Mother. Blessings to you. Well, guys, listen. Psychic Bob loves all of you. Lord Iceon loves all of you. People are saying, who's Lord Iceon? That's my Wiccan title. I'm a Wiccan Lord. My title is Lord Iceon. But I'm also Psychic Bob. I'm both. Anyways, guys, I love you. We'll see you back here tomorrow. So don't forget. And thank you for all the support, the comments, and the participation day. You guys rock. We'll see you back here tomorrow. And until then, may you always